Hi, this is Karen from Mojo Global. Welcome to the Mojo Global Radio Show. Today, we have as our honored guest, David Remington. David, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Karen.
We're happy to have you, David. Could you tell our audience a little bit about how you could help them?
Sure. So I am an accountant by trade, and I'm an entrepreneur at heart. And most of the last 7 or 8 years in the accounting and finance space, I've done a lot of work with teams on doing video documentation and doing cross training for their teams. And as you can imagine, sometimes that starts with a real problem situation. Teams have their hair on fire, so to speak, and it's very reactive. And part of what I also like to do is to help and encourage teams to build their training programs proactively so that when the time and the need comes, they've already been doing some documentation and cross training.
Can you tell us when is the best time for someone to reach out to you and how you serve them?
Sure. So the best time for someone to reach out to me is before they have a pressing, burning need. By getting me involved ahead of time in developing a cross training and knowledge transfer and video documentation program, then there's not the pressure and the necessity with someone actually being out of the office or off the team. And it's kind of thing where I'm a big believer, stitching time saves nine. So if I can come in, for example, work with somebody who has kind of an involved process that they work on. Say it could be payroll processing. When a person's out of the office and the rest of the staff starts stressing out about, oh, who's going to do this for a couple of days or a couple of weeks, that's a really good candidate for a task to start with upfront proactively, because then you can actually have the expert show us how to do it. Questions can get asked interactively, and then you can start building the program from there.
Well, thank you, David. And what is your passion for doing precisely what you're doing?
My passion is so many times in my career, most of the second half of my career, so the last 17 or so years, it's very frustrating when anyone gets tossed in a situation where it's like, hey, David, or hey, Karen, this needs to get done and needs to get done quickly and needs to get done right. And we all want to do a good job. And it's very frustrating if you don't know how to do something. And if you don't know how to do something very well, it tends to impede your ability to do it well. And no one likes to work under a lot of undue stress or pressure. So as I got involved in situations to help clients doing some of this documentation and cross training, it's very rewarding, because at first there's candidly a lot of resistance, especially with the people sharing information. People tend to get defensive. I understand that. I probably have done the same thing. But once you kind of break down those barriers and people start sharing and see that their work is valued, and all these dozens of little inside tips and twists and know-how that they have in their mind, once they start sharing that, it's pretty cool, because then it's like the barriers break down, they start sharing, and then it's like people can start seeing, oh my gosh, this is everything it really takes to get it done. And no particular step is necessarily that hard. Putting and embroidering everything together in the right order, that is a bit of a challenge, and there's expertise involved in that. So it's very rewarding to see like people share the information and then people pick it up. And especially when you see the stress and the pressure go down as the process develops.
Well, thank you, David. And what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Very simple, Karen. A quick call or text to my cell at 616-970-8724, or an email to me at dremington@langleycfo.com.
Thanks so much for being on today, David. We appreciate you.
Well, thank you, Karen. I appreciate being on and having a chance to share a little bit about the work that I do and the things that I like to do with my accounting and finance brethren.
Well, thank you. And to our audience, we always appreciate you, and we look forward to bringing you the next Mojo Global Radio Show. Bye-bye.